this works properly. Just give me a second. All right, it's saying that we're live.
Oh, we're live. Hello.
Hey,
Brian, I'm so proud of you.
I'm so mad that I made you happy.
Is this a thumbnail thing again?
Always a thumbnail thing.
You son of a bitch.
Always.
My day is gonna be good or bad based on Brian's thumbnail.
See, Albert knows already. He says, "Let's talk thumbnail."
This looks like
he already knows your shtick.
Come on, I made this, and I still think it looks like a 4-year-old sat down with magazines and scissors and like ate paste and stuck things together. So thumbnails
What's
done,
wrong
mommy.
with 4-year-olds and magazines and scissors?
I don't know.
Hey,
I guess we have a new hire.
ABC paste is the best paste.
Can we keep
already
the cat?
been chewed paste?
Can we please keep
Cue
the
the cat, because I want to say what's up to Arland Theodori.
Oh, not Arland. What's up, dude?
Hey, you leave Arland alone.
No, you don't know Arland like I know Arland.
Distract Game Cat. It's time. 5 rounds. Sci-fi Game Cat. Hello. The Game Cat in the chat. Albert. Charlie Smith, aka Obi-Wan McGincat. Basic racing. Why aren't you like what other raisins are there?
California raisin?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Reno Torriello. An Italiano, please. Abitabucci. Neo.
What?
There's a whole family guy about how to speak Italian.
GameScast. Nick Bulow, Trusty Mods in the house, be on your best behavior. JT, what's up, man? Robert B, the English Game Cat, Dennis Menguso, Herb, the 247 Game Cat, yo, Geisel, fist bump to you, Kyle Neck, let's go, indeed. Gabriel 004, the license to Meow Game Cat, meow, 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 meow.
Never gets
Meow, 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 meow. Seymour Game Cats, Beard of Power 666, Delirium Drew VR, J Kate Game Cat, hello. PSVR and Grad, I know that dude. Ash 454, Fat Boy Vernon, Gamer Chick 13 in the house tonight. What is up, Hack? Mark Pringles Leaf, Andrew Bailey, Red Rover, Skibby the Game Cat. What is up, everybody?
Did you say gamer chick in the house at night? Is that what it sounded like? That's what you said, which is a weird thing, but I'm trying to figure it out. But I like it. She's in the house at night. Like, she's usually out running around, but she's in the house at night. I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
Well, it sounded like what you said. That's why I was asking.
This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to you live because that's what live means. Oh no, somebody should tell AJ that part of his picture is cut off. I gotta fix the stream. Don't worry. It's okay. We just can't see your left elbow. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I promise. Nothing's gonna be fine.
That's his bad elbow.
My name's Bryan.
That's his bad elbow anyways. Don't worry about
right
it.
here, Without Parole. And the boys to my right. The boys. I'll get this right one of these days. Dave from Dave Station VR.
Here's my left elbow. It's all you guys are going to see for the rest of the show.
It's all elbows all the time.
It's all elbows here on Without Parole.
Teasing me.
And that guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from the Underground. PSVR. Underground.
I almost forgot to bow. What's up, Brian? What's up, Game Cats? And Dave.
Oh wow, he's crooning now.
Is that the right way? Is that leaning?
Hold on, I'm about to fix it.
I hope you're leaning out of frame more. That'd be pretty funny.
It's better. We're better. We're better. Dave didn't show up until the last second, so I wasn't able to get my adjustments right. This is all your fault, Dave.
Sorry. I had work stuff, and I do have work stuff at 7, so I'm gonna have to bounce for a little bit, but it should be short, and I'll be back.
Excellent.
Per usual.
Excellent. Guys, a little bit of housekeeping when I get out of the way. Make sure that you join our Discord server. The link for that is in the description down below. That's where we hang out 24/7. We talk about video games and whatever else is on our mind. It's mostly me complaining that I don't have enough coffee, but you talk about what you want to talk about, and I'll just join in. Down below, click the link. Do your thing. Also, I don't know. That's it. That's really it. I don't want to do any more housekeeping. So I mean, we got a lot to talk about, right? I mean, we got tons of I'm going to say we got tons of PS5 news. I didn't really check the run of show. That's probably not true at all. We got tons of game news.
We got nothing
tons
to talk about, guys.
But I think we should probably begin the show the way we begin every show, with a little game of should we or shouldn't we. We put 60 seconds up on the clock up on the counter, the way that Jeremy likes it. And it's our time, our time down here to tell you out there, the loyal game cats, whether we should or should not be playing and or watching and or doing the things that we've been watching and or playing and or doing. Who would like to go first?
I can go first.
You know,
I feel like this happens every time. This happens every time.
Wow, wow, wow.
On your mark.
Oh, I am going for it. Okay.
You said I can, and that meant you volunteered.
I can.
That's it.
In a vacuum of leadership, I will.
Why are you so against going first? It's
because every time I say I could go first, then you guys, yeah, go first, go first.
yeah, for sure. On your mark, it does. Go.
All right. So I've been watching a bunch of documentaries lately, like tons and tons of documentaries. But there's a really cool one that I got into. It's like a series, I think it's 6 episodes on HBO Max called McMillions. And it's this crazy story about Bryan seen it too. McMillions is really interesting. You guys remember the McDonald's Monopoly game? Everybody knows the McDonald's Monopoly game. It was like the most popular.
We were all going to be rich, Dave.
We were all going to be rich.
That's right.
And then it turned out that there was this guy on the inside who worked at the like security for the people that made this thing and like figured out a way to game the system and stole all the things and gave them to his relatives and stuff. It's a really like expansive conspiracy, and you're surprised because you're like, wait, the McDonald's game? And that's how the FBI was at first. They're like, what do you mean this is about the McDonald's game? Why would we bother? But it's actually a huge like multi-million, $70 million scam. Really interesting stuff, and just hearing the backstory, it was really cool. I like it. McMillions, thumbs up.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. That is a wonderful choice. I've definitely been watching a lot of documentaries the last couple of years, and that was mind blowing. That was mind blowing because it did go deep, and you're like, oh man, like whatever scam somebody ran, they probably just bought too many. They found a place that gave out a piece with every single double cheeseburger. How bad could it be? Mm-hmm. And then it turns out it's like really bad. And so, yeah, definitely check that out. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, and I love that the FBI agent who's going undercover for the first time, and they're like, this guy loves to act. We don't know if we should let him in there, but like that guy was a really entertaining character. I love him.
Yeah, no, there's actually, it's surprisingly that there's a good number of laughs in that. The main dude who like is investigating the cause, and he's kind of like narrating most of the movie, if I remember correctly, most of the episodes. He is absolutely a character. Like I wouldn't trust him to ever go undercover because he just seems like he's more into the acting deal than he is the police business.
Absolutely, like he pulled it off, but everyone was like, "Oh, I don't know if he's gonna pull this off. This could really go poorly."
Right. Oh, sirens on my end. That means it's AJ's time. AJ, are you ready?
Decepticon's in the house tonight. What up, Decepticon? And he is a big fan of that show, McMillions, and so is Red River. Decepticon is such a fan that even Guyson, our trusty mod, was about actually typed out. Decon loves McMillions.
Oh, so, and Nick mentioned that he just finished watching the Heaven's Gate one, and I watched that one as well on HBO Max. Yeah,
right. I'm ready, Brian.
All right, on your mark, it Des. Go.
So, reaching into my bag of Saturday Night live stream picks. These are, of course, I've been taking requests on my channel Saturday, 5:00 p.m. on the communities tab because I want to do everything on the PS5 now. It's kind of getting to the point where it's annoying jumping back and forth. And I played, revisited a nice little title selected by Gilman called Final Assault, which just recently had a price change. It launched at $30. Now it is $9.99. And man, I cannot encourage you enough to look at this game, to check it out, to go watch my gameplay and just watch how much fun you can hear that I'm having. I'm a big fan of Command and Conquer back in the day, and it's like a light version of Command and Conquer. It doesn't have the depth of the base building and stuff like that, but it is absolutely fantastic. Such a fun game. Final Assault, absolute should we steal at $9.99.
Yeah, what a dramatic price drop, man. It's like who over there at Phasor Lock Interactive was like, our game's not selling enough copies at $30. Maybe we should give it a price drop. And somebody was like, let's do $10. And somebody was like, no, that's crazy. That person that said no, that's crazy took the day off that day because the dude that was like $10, it's a guaranteed sell at $10.
I think
that guy fucking dominated the conversation. How did this happen?
I think it was like a car dealership thing where it's like, come on down. I'm so crazy. I'm selling cars for $2. No money down.
We're giving them away. We're practically giving them away.
There's an actual guy in Orlando who sounds just like this that I'm impersonating, and I love it. Like for the holidays, he's like, it's bananas how many, I don't know, pumpkins. I don't know. He don't say shit. I can't.
This game does have multiplayer, but I'm not a big multiplayer guy most of the time.
It's fun
and
multiplayer though. It's cool.
It is fun
It's
multiplayer.
The guy
but
I know that
I
has
played like 8 to
700
10
hours in fucking Firewall 0 hours. Like, I'm not a multiplayer
Oh,
guy.
I've got way more than he does.
I'm just making
I mean,
fun.
like there are exceptions, right? When a game is, that's what I've always said. What makes a great game is it not be your kind of game, and then you spend like it draws you in, hooks you in. That to me is the perfect game, the one that anybody can play and enjoy. Which obviously I don't think it exists.
Well, every puzzle game in VR, right?
There's some jackass out there like Mario sucks, like yeah. But absolutely awesome game. Played the whole thing single player. Played one round of multiplayer, and still doesn't matter.
So getting back to like sort of I know I was joking, but my point was that it seems like a dramatic price drop, and it seems unnecessarily like, I mean, they dropped the price by 2/3, right? Do you think they could have had just as much success if they dropped it to like $17.99 or $19.99? They dropped it to $20. You'd think that it would sell like crazy still. I'm just like, I don't know what the reasoning is behind this. I mean, it's great. You know, we're always pro gamer, but I'm a little scared that this means that this didn't sell at all, and this was like a drastic decision.
That would be unfortunate. But yeah, maybe they're just trying to get some more copies out the door. I would say also that since it's a multiplayer game, maybe they're betting on or hoping that people will get it for cheap and then tell their friend, hey, I like this game. Do you want to play it with me? It's only $10.
There you go.
And then they've sold 2 copies instead of just 1.
Right.
But I don't know how often that's happening.
I think $10 is going to make a lot of people go, "What is this game? I'm interested in it," and then they go look at reviews, look it up and stuff. $20 to me is like the sweet spot for VR games, especially if they have 5+ hours of stuff. I feel like people always bite at the $20 things. I don't know if the younger kids get PSN cards for $20, and that's why it's so common. But it just always seems like $20 is such a sweet spot for a middle of the ground game.
Yeah. Shout out to Craig Ray with 3 quid donation saying, "Works on contingency, no money down." I think that's what is that what he's saying with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Craig Ray. We appreciate the generosity. All right, I think it's my turn. So let me get on my mark, get ready, get Des, and go. Man, I feel like I can't talk about this game enough, but Swords of Gargantua has been nothing but a good time. And I mean, it's crazy how many times, like, if I'm busy or if I'm stressed out and I just need to get away from my computer for a little while, I'm like, okay, my immediate go-to is Swords of Gargantua, and sometimes I'll just drop into single player because there are trophies you can only get in single player, and I've gotten to the boss by myself, which is kind of cool. But then was it yesterday we just did multiplayer? You AJ, me, and Belramio. Is that yesterday?
You, AJ, me, and Bell. It was yes, it was yesterday, and it was me, you, and Bell, and then a random.
Yeah, so some gentlemen from it sounded like the UK joined us, and we took down the boss, and it was like fairly easy. But also I've been playing for like 12 hours at this point. I think we've all been putting a lot of time into it. So when I say it's fairly easy, it's because we've been leveling up and stuff. And Swords of Gargantua.
You say it was easy. Everybody was dead. And they're like, AJ, save us. And I'm like, baby game. Baby game. We got this.
everybody was dead. True. During the boss. I think I probably died twice during the boss, maybe 3 times even. But still, I don't think anybody really died until the boss.
Oh yeah, no.
So getting to the boss was fine, and and it's like this was the first time I spent more than like 30 seconds with the boss. So I was learning the strategy as we went, and I was like, okay. And by the end, I was like, yeah, no, this is totally doable every single time now.
Your first time getting to the boss, you basically your first 2 or 3 times, you basically have about 1 minute to figure out whatever you can about the game, about the boss before he kills you, because the first couple times you're just wrecked instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definite should we though. I still think, as much as I like this game, it feels a little overpriced at $30. This was a $20 game, I'd be all over it. But man, there's still nothing else like it as far as PSVR is concerned. I say nothing else like it because Until You Fall is fantastic, but it's not multiplayer and it doesn't have quite the level of permanent stat upgrades that I like in a roguelite like this.
The multiplayer is where it's at, man. It's so good for multiplayer.
Yeah, if there wasn't multiplayer, I don't know.
This game would have nothing without multiplayer.
Yeah, I still play a single player occasionally, but yeah, it's just not that's where the magic is for sure.
Yeah.
All right, all that out of the way. Is it time for some news, AJ? How many stories we got on the Roper Report this week?
Oh God, it kills me inside. First of all, we have a $5 donation from Techno Gatsby with the $5. Says happy Honda Days, gents. I thought he was gonna say holidays, but happy Honda Days. Saturday.
Got it.
If you could only have one non-VR game dropping in 2021 to play, which upcoming game are you picking and why?
Ghostwire Tokyo.
I
want to play Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't even know much about it. It just looks really cool. I want to play that.
So we're literally talking non-VR. We're going to play this on a flat screen, and we want it.
Right. Gran Turismo 7 all day for me. Because you can spend hours and hours and hours and hours. You can spend, I could spend all of 2021 playing it most likely.
My brain just shut down. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't know what I want to play that's not VR.
I mean, there's nothing that I like really want to, but yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out 2021, so who knows?
I want Resident Evil Revelations 3 to drop in 2021. If I'm gonna play it,
really?
Yeah, really. That's my
Revelations is not a bad game.
Yeah,
I like Revelations.
Revelations
over 7 though.
Not over 7.
I mean over 8.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna drop in 2021. Like this seemed like a wish fulfillment question. If you could have one non-VR game drop. Oh yeah, okay. So I guess Village technically.
No, I think he's saying one game that comes out that isn't VR.
Okay,
you play that one. Yeah.
So guys, we have 10 items on the list today to talk about, and we've got some updates on some games, some mysterious drops on the store that we need to discuss. Bryan previewed a little bit of VR Adventure. Got a Christmas surprise for you guys. But first, we want to just go ahead and take a minute to remind you guys that the award show, 2020 PSVR award show, is this Sunday at
3 p.m. Eastern.
3 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Just how we like it.
Yeah, so make sure you're there. Make sure you come have some fun with us. And because of that, today's show might be a little bit shorter, just a little shorter. But we have more show coming that day. So it's going to be a little shorter show today, but it's going to be nice. So first thing we want to dive into is, of course, anything PS5 related, as always.
Ooh,
by the way, I'm
super That's fantastic.
I'm super stoked for the award show, by the way, guys. I'm very, very excited.
I am stoked for it to be 3 p.m. on Sunday, and me being able to sit there and kind of watch it with you guys and make sure all the gears are turning properly behind the scenes, and just like know that all the hard work is out of the way, and I kind of like just get to sort of enjoy it with you guys. That's going to be so rewarding for me. And every single day that I spend time putting it together, I'm just a little bit happier because I'm getting a little bit closer to the end. And also when I see it coming together, I'm like, I think if I was just watching this just as a viewer, I think I'd really dig it. So yeah, fingers crossed that it turns out pretty good. A lot of surprises.
DWVR is now playable on PS5. It was not before. Something happened which you didn't really understand. But the reason I wanted to bring this up, we learned something very, very significant. I texted you guys screenshots of this.
There's big news here and here. Yeah, this is big news.
Big PS5 related news. And before, all we knew was that we were able to experience games via backwards compatibility, PSVR games via backwards compatibility, which is still the case. But we were given pretty much the impression that there wasn't a way to provide patches on the PS5, that you had to go in and tweak your PS4 game, hack it, if you will. And the developer took to Reddit, and there was people asking asking him some very good questions here about this. And he basically clarified saying that, yes, you can actually, with the backwards compatibility mode, you can go in and use the graphics, more graphics and CPU power performance to your games. And that Sony, and they said that Sony prefers this versus going in and hacking your PS4 game. And he did mention also like games that have automatic performance mode, like dynamic resolution, will automatically get it. But ones that don't do have this option to go in and do it. And I thought that was pretty significant news.
Well, yeah. So the big thing here is that he's saying, like, even though it's a PS4 game, they're allowing me to do a PS5 specific patch, and they'd prefer that I do that. And even though I'm a tiny, tiny, tiny developer whose game that barely anyone cares about, they still approved him to get that patch. So I think it's a matter of asking and putting the effort in, and not so much a matter of like only certain games will get it. Because we had this idea at first that maybe it would just be like kind of like first party or like Sony exclusives that got it, you know, like Blood and Truth, Firewall, and then Dreams and stuff like that. So we were thinking maybe they were limiting it to just their own games at first. But it doesn't appear that way. It seems like you just got to ask them and propose a use case for it and say this is why, and they'll get you in. So that's good, and it runs at 120 frames a second now. I think you said already, AJ, but
no, I didn't actually.
Cool. Oh yeah,
so they did adjust the game. Yeah, they did adjust the game to have slightly higher resolution and now 120 frames per second,
which makes it one of the 3 games
that
runs at 120. I think.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Firewall. Oh, one of the 3 games that
Polybius.
Right.
DWVR.
The other DWVR, and there was another one, but I can't think of it.
Yeah.
This reminds me
Brian?
so much of the Platinum Trophy.
Corix is the other.
Okay.
This reminds me of so much of the Platinum Trophy situation, where every developer is like, "Oh yeah, no, our game's not big enough." Sony said no, and but then there's games like My Name Is Mayo, and that have Platinum trophies on Vita and PS4 and PS5. Like, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the developers that we talked to have basically said, you just have to ask. You just have to ask Sony. And to be like, I really want a Platinum for my game. I need to have a Platinum. And they go, okay. And it's like, so why? This just continues like the confusing messaging from Sony. Being like, why aren't things more clear? Why don't more developers know this? But I think the other half of that equation, as far as the PlayStation 5 stuff is concerned, is that I think this shows us that like a lot of developers maybe know this information and are quietly like, yeah, we're not going to make any money by doing this.
We
don't want to. We just don't want to. You know, it's like we can make our games look better, but it's so not profitable. We've already sold all the games we're going to sell, and no extra people are going to buy this game because we decided to spend thousands of dollars making it look better on PlayStation 5. We, as gamers, we all want that. But I can understand these small dev teams, because most PSVR dev teams are pretty small. They're working on their next game. They don't have the money to go back and like rework stuff for the very small number of people who actually own a PlayStation 5 right now and a VR headset. It's just not profitable. And I think that's why they're very, very quiet about this.
I disagree to just a little bit.
Please do.
There are games that need a patch like this. DWVR already looked fine. Nobody's going to be like, oh my God, I can play this now. If you got a game like No Man's Sky to get a PS5 resolution patch, if it was able to, that would be huge. That would that would literally fill an entire player base of PSVR players because of it. So I think it really is, and he did say it's a game by game basis. So I agree with you that some games like Job Simulator.
I'm not saying the games don't need it, and we would love it as consumers, as gamers. Absolutely, we'd love it. But as studios are concerned, like No Man's Sky, Hello Games, they're not going to make that much more money. Like they're going to sell a few extra copies, but it's not worth the thousands of dollars it's going to take to go in and like make that game look great on PS5. The same reason we didn't get a pro patch. They could do it. Well, they didn't do it.
Yeah. The other thing is that making changes to a game like DWVR is a lot easier than making changes to a game like No Man's Sky. There are so many moving parts, underlying systems, all these things at play. And like, I don't know, I feel like it's a little tougher to mess with that if you're messing with the basic makeup of the game. what makes it run the way it runs.
Yeah,
They already have plenty of bugs as is, so
this is
I
good
don't think
information.
they want to introduce a lot more.
Right, I think we all
It is
can
good
agree
to
this
know,
is
yeah.
great information. Like that is possible. That Sony's they're not limiting it and saying no, this just isn't. You can't do it, and for some unknown reason, it's good to know that it's possible for the developers who are interested in doing it and kind of like want to give their game a second lease on life.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to Red Rover. Send Joe Grover right over the effing Game Cat Rare with the $30 donation. He says the show is at 3 p.m. Well, here's $10 per p.m. I knew
The show is now at 12 p.m.
It's like I knew I should have started the show later. No, Red Rover, Joe Grover, thank you so much, man. We really, really appreciate you. And we also want to give a shout out to Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline Rare with the $5 donation. Says, I broke down and bought a Quest 2, guys. I promise it's just a stopgap until PSVR 2 comes out. I still hate Facebook.
Get out. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't blame you, man. I mean, look, it's if you're just craving tons and tons of VR games, it's a little tough right now. Sony is definitely not throwing us any bones here, but I have a feeling, if all goes as planned, if all goes well, then when they do, it's going to have some amazing games and stuff with it as well, better than what you can get on the Quest. In fact.
If all goes according to our plans, what you're saying, like Sony, who the fuck knows what Sony's plans are? But if all goes according to our plans, things are going to be amazing next year. I love it.
But yeah, I mean, no, do what you got to do, man. I haven't started any of them. I downloaded like half that PS Plus collection, and yeah, I haven't played them yet because I've still got, the truth is, PSVR has such a vast library of amazing titles, and even stuff such as Wipeout and just all these games, Drive Club. I've been getting into a lot of racers lately and stuff, and I've just been really like, yeah, there's nothing like new, but there's so much stuff that's been out for a long time that is worth playing that I'm still kind of just chewing on right now.
Have you ever played Ratchet and Clank before? The new one.
I downloaded it. That's one of them. I started it before, but I never
played that one. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
Actually that and The Last Guardian are the two that I'm looking forward to the most.
The Last Guardian ran like shit even on Pro, so it should be good on a 5, hopefully.
But I also downloaded like God of War and Fallout 4 and stuff. Some games that I missed out on the second half of the last gen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got a few more tips coming in here, guys. We got the Bearsty Game Cats
Tip twice.
The $6.99 Canadian funny money. No message the first time, but then a second one. Was that an accidental double tip? If so,
let me know.
Let Bryan know. Yeah. The second one says, having trouble with Beat Saber on my PS5. The sabers are glittery, jittery. I was like,
glittery.
I was like, that sounds amazing. How do I turn the glitter on mine?
No,
so
jittery. Any clues or solutions?
Have
probably
you
a tracking issue?
Yeah,
gotta be a tracking issue.
Yeah. Have you gone in and redone your tracking setup and stuff for the controllers? Because the first day I got my PS5, my tracking was definitely wonky. And that was just not calibrated at all. I'm actually surprised it even was able to read anything I was doing because I didn't program it yet. So I would just redo your tracking most likely. Try it again. And if your lights are on, turn them off. If they're off, turn them on. Try different variations of your setup, basically.
And don't have anything reflective behind you. Because so for me, my VR space is right in front of this window. And so if I don't close the blinds, I'm getting reflections off of the move controllers. So you want to do stuff like that to make sure.
Yeah. He asked how to recalibrate. You just go into the settings menu of the PlayStation 5, correct? Yep.
Yeah, it's in the accessories settings.
Adjust PlayStation VR, I think is the...
Yeah, there's going to be a couple options there. Go through them all. Do everything that you possibly can. And this sounds so dumb, but sometimes I go into Beat Saber and my right saber is going right, and all you got to do is turn off that move controller, wait 5 seconds, and turn it back on, and it's fine. So these are just things that happen, and I don't know if that is in particular is your problem, but if it is, simple solution.
Yeah.
We got really off track for a second here. I forgot where we were when we got back.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Now I just want glittery sabers, man. I'm pissed that we don't have glittery sabers. That'd be a cool option.
Well, dude, the only option we have is to change the color, and it's like, well, why at this point? I think of things like Fruit Ninja. They give you all sorts of cool things to do with your swords. I don't know if that's in the VR version. I forget now. But at least when I was playing on Vita, you're swiping around and stuff. Give you all sorts of cool trails, all sorts of cool, different swords
trails
to use.
Would be nice. I would like different trails.
Yeah, having that stuff unlockable, or I don't know. I don't want to suggest that somebody's ask us to spend more money to customize our stuff. But
they're probably going to announce
cool
this in like 2 weeks or something.
Probably.
I'd be happy just never playing Fruit Ninja again. I'm so disappointed with that game. We've also got a 1999 donation from Lord Vader himself. Darth Vader, the Game Cat, says, don't know if we're having Gamescast on Christmas Eve, so here's an early Christmas gift, Bryan. May all you Game Cats have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Lord Vader. Please don't force choke me.
A very dark side of you, though. Have a Merry Christmas.
Now, I was going to tell you whether or not we are doing a Gamescast on Christmas Eve, but if people are going to be donating, I don't think I will share that information anymore.
Well, did we talk about this? I know I sent a text out earlier today, but I'm not sure if everybody responded. Do we have a consensus on this for next week?
I'm in for Gamescast. And
let me double check. I have family Zoom calls that I have to go to, but I'll check the timing on those, and I'll let.
My family can wait.
Like now,
this is important.
Yeah, we're doing very, very simplified Christmas things this year with my family, and so if I only see them on Christmas Day, it won't be the end of the world.
Yeah, I plan on doing Gamescast and lots of streams. I'll be streaming on Christmas. I'll be streaming Christmas Eve. Whatever you guys want.
AJ's doing a 24-hour Christmas stream.
Okay, so on Christmas Eve, I've got a call at 8 p.m. So anytime before that, I can do Gamescast, but anytime after that.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. What time was it at?
8 p.m.
Okay,
that's when I'm supposed to hang out with my family on Christmas Eve.
So we can do like a normal 6 o'clock and end it early, so you can go hang out with your family.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll just sit in front of a webcam for 4 hours. I love it.
That sounds pretty terrible, actually. Okay, we'll keep you updated, guys. I know this probably wasn't the best place to make that decision. Do it live in front of you guys, right?
Oh, no dread halls.
24 hours of dread halls.
No.
Dread the halls with boughs of holly.
I think 12 days of dread halls is a better one.
Dargans. I like Red Rover's idea. Dargans. I'm gonna write some Dargans on Christmas. All right. So we'll be. The final thing on this before we move on from the DWVR thing. This guy was made aware of his game not being playable on PS5 like a month, weeks, something like that before PS5 came out, and he just released this earlier this week. So it took him about like a month, a little over a month to get this done. So if there are people that are going to be doing this, it's not going to just be the floodgates are open like we kind of hope for, because they need PS5s, they need dev kits, they need certain things, and then they need the time to do it. So if we'll know whether or not how many companies are actually doing something like this within the next month or two, when they've actually had time to work on this stuff and get it done.
Yeah, I'm still gonna guess 0. I feel like it's gonna be so few and far between. I want it to be everybody. I want every game to look better, but I don't have a lot of hope. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. So next up, speaking of games that could use a resolution patch, EA has agreed to a $1.2 billion acquisition of Codemasters. These are the developers behind Dirt series, a couple other series actually. But this comes via GamesIndustry.biz, and they basically said, quote, in an explanation for the deal, Codemasters chairman Jared Florin said that both companies, quote, have a shared ambition to lead the video game racing category. End quote.
I will tell you right now, I don't know what footage this is playing. I searched my trailer folder.
That look on your face. You were like,
I searched my trailer folder for Dirt Rally. This popped up, and it looks like I'm assuming this is probably an AJ video that I just like stole or something. So we'll see what this is. I have no idea. I got my fingers crossed that it's good though. And if I stole it from some other YouTube channel, then I apologize. I'll give you credit later. I don't know who this is.
Well, here's what I want to come from this partnership. We got EA, who does the Star Wars games, and we got Codemasters, who does Dirt, which is a very demanding racing game. And when I think of very demanding racing games, I think of Pod Racer. Because that game, if you hit a corner the wrong way, your ship blows up. It's crazy. It's like, I think that'd be a cool thing to do in VR. Pod Racer VR, EA, Codemasters come together, put their expertise in there, and cook up something fun. Not that anybody cares about episode 1 anymore, but pod racing will always sell, I guarantee you.
Anymore.
That's
as if
perennial.
people ever cared about episode 1.
Well, they cared enough to buy the original Pod Racer game.
The pod racing game was good, though. That's the difference. Like, it doesn't matter. Like Star Wars or not, those games back in the day were awesome.
Well, Super Combat Racing was not as awesome.
So I see two outcomes here. Yeah, the significance of this, like I said, Dirt Rally is in VR. I have two goals. Number one, that is to get Dirt Rally back on the US store. It's on the other ones. The VR add-on, however, is missing currently, even though Codemasters said they're going to get that back on there. Now we have to bug EA about it. So we're going to do our due diligence. I'm going to do my due diligence and bug them about it and make sure we get that back on, because Dirt Rally is just too good of a game not to have access to the VR support on there.
Unfortunately, as far as EA goes, we're like ants crawling up their leg or something. Like they're not going to notice if we make a fuss about this.
True, it is going to be harder, but yeah, it was hard anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we'll see what happens. EA wants to sell things that they have. That if EA has something that can be sold, like, why not? Like, if it just takes them putting it back on the store, I'll word it the proper way. But so to me, this will be interesting to see if there's any possibility of them A, fixing that, and B, adding VR support to potential future titles. With the success of Star Wars Squadrons, that's EA motive. It's a division of EA, so it's not like the main one. But to me, I don't know. This deal is, I could see going either way. It could either be better and could be awesome, or they're going to run this series into the ground. And I mean, to be honest with you, my guess is that this series has already kind of been trending down for a while. I feel like the Dirt series has not.
Dirt 5 got really good reviews.
You got good reviews, but what about sales? Can we look up sales?
I don't know about that. I've actually considered buying it because I was like, I want a racing game for my PS5. I want to see what these triggers feel like in a racing game.
Yeah.
And so that's actually kind of why I considered Call of Duty 2, because it's like, well, I want to see how they work with guns. So, but I don't even care about Call of Duty. Dirt, I would actually want to play. It seems like a good game. But
are there stats and rosters and stuff for rally cross racers that would update every year? Like, could we see an EA do like Dirt Rally 2021, Dirt Rally 2022, like they do with Madden? And if so, like, do we think that there's an audience for that?
I don't know if there's a big enough audience to do it yearly like that.
No.
I don't think, like, Dirt Rally didn't have like any names in it, right?
There's too much competition with racing games.
Maybe EA can like enter that competition where Codemasters didn't quite have the chops or didn't have the manpower or the money.
And if they want to do that, they should make a NASCAR game, NASCAR 2020, NASCAR 2021. Yeah. Why aren't they doing that, by the way? That seems like an easy
they
money
used to
grab.
And they probably didn't sell as well as they would have liked
I guess,
it to.
Honestly, the NASCAR market isn't exactly the video game market. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, just put some advertisements for like Slim Jims and Mountain Dew, and I think you've nailed your target audience, which it sounds like me, to be honest with you. I just don't like fucking
I was going to say,
NASCAR.
Anybody in here who actually likes NASCAR is going to be real offended by this conversation.
What do you mean? I don't like NASCAR, and I love those two items. Slim Jims and Mountain Dew, sign me up.
Sure.
So, but I mean, the plus side of all of this is that it seemed like Codemasters dipped their toes into the VR waters, at least on the PlayStation VR side, with just one game. And I, obviously on the PC side, I think they dabbled a little bit more. But when it comes to Electronic Arts, you see EA doing a lot more with VR. Obviously they just put out Medal of Honor VR. Take it or leave it. Opinion, regardless of what our opinions are of it or other people's opinions, they did it. and they spent a bunch of money making it happen. You know, a VR exclusive game, and then on top of that, we definitely got VR support for Squadrons, and so you can see that they're like sort of heading in that, or at least experimenting over where we live. You know, they're in our backyard at night, like doing things that we're going to call the police for. Yeah, they're there and they're trying things out. So I think, and it's interesting to see EA do that too. Like EA for a very long time was, we're only going to do this if it's going to make us a ton of money. So it's good to see them experimenting and kind of like branching out and seeing where video games are going. We don't really see them as like an industry leader these days anymore. We just see them doing the same thing every year, more or less. Although every so often we do get kind of a cool indie game from them.
Yeah, well, Squadrons is a step in the right direction too, I think.
Yeah, no microtransactions and just an overall awesome game. Again, another one that uses this flat and VR hybrid model that I think is kind of essential for moving forward, at least during a transitional period. I think it's pretty paramount that they do something like that. So I would love to see that, man. And Dirt is such a great franchise. So, like I said, I'm going to bug them to get Dirt Rally back on the store. And then next, I'm going to bug them to get Dirt Rally 2 a patch.
Well, luckily, you don't have to bug them to get Dirt Rally VR back up on the store. That bundle is definitely on its way for anyone who doesn't already have it. I do want to give a shout out to Red Rover, Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat, with a $5 donation saying, is there any word on whether PS5s will be available before Christmas? If yes, a decent quantity? I think that's like the billion-dollar question, right?
I heard somebody say earlier today that Amazon got some, but I don't know how quickly. I assume they went immediately.
Look, I promise you, I'm not just, this isn't a shameless plug for my Twitter, but follow me on Twitter.
Follow Wario64.
Yeah, actually, that's even better. Follow Wario64, PS5 restock. You eliminate the middleman, which is me. But they have, Best Buy has been restocking. I've been texting all my friends. Some of my friends have gotten PS5s and stuff. So, yeah,
get, the Pulse headset locked in. I've been looking for one of those for a minute, and I was surprised that they were so sold out. But Best Buy got some of those, and I have one. I think Sunday I'll be able to pick it up. Neither of you guys got the Pulse headset, did you?
No,
I got the stuff that I use, and that's it. I don't need anything else at this point.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be my streaming headset, I think. So.
Two interesting comments in the chat about Electronic Arts. One comes from Snack Maples, or Snack MPLS, or Snack M Please, I don't know. He says, Squadron's screen stutter is fixed now, and it feels so good. That's awesome.
Oh, did they really fix the screen stutter? Because I have not been playing it for weeks.
It's been a while since I've
on my PS5. And people were like, Dave, come on, we're playing Squadrons. And I'm like, nope, if the screen shake's still there, I'm not playing. Because it got worse on my PS5.
Somehow it got worse, and because usually in flight, if it stuttered, you wouldn't even notice because you're doing all these things, you're looking around, you're flying, things are shaking, and so like I would notice it more when I was talking to other characters on the station, but not in flight, and so it didn't really bother me. And then at some point I was like, wow, I'm noticing this way more often. So
it was really distracting. I couldn't focus on it.
Oh, it's Minneapolis. It's Snacks Minneapolis.
Snacks Minneapolis.
I like Maples or Maple Please.
Well, I'm always thinking like MPLS server or something. I'm like, what is the server down? I thought he was like an IT guy, maybe. I don't know.
And the other comment was,
everyone in Minneapolis is an IT guy, AJ.
Oh, wow, I didn't know. The other comment comes from Braxton B. Says, just to remember, EA is the reason we'll never see Dead Space VR. I think EA is the reason we might see Dead Space VR. I feel like, I mean, if anyone's going to do it, they're going to do it. And like they killed that franchise. Like they fucking beat that thing over the head with a shovel until it couldn't even stand. And now it's like maybe it's been enough time where people forgot how bad Dead Space 3 was that like, I mean, everyone clamors for it, right? Anytime you say, what games do you want to see in VR? Dead Space always seems to be in the top 5.
Well, and that's the thing. Squadrons, that's the exciting prospect of this for me, is that Squadrons had so much money behind it. EA has so much money that even if they get a release a VR game and it completely bombs, you know that thing's going to look good. It's going to have like a lot of AAA qualities to it. So to me, I'm like secretly, like I would never like advocate for the game and be like, you know, I hope it fails and it's just really good. But yeah, it's like I would love for them to push something out and it just be really have a high budget behind it.
Yeah.
because high budget in VR is a lot of fun, as you guys know.
We've got a tip here. $5 from Wonder Rob says, I'm drawing and hanging out with my gang. Meow. How's everybody? How is everybody? How you guys doing tonight?
I'm okay.
You guys remember that? I'm drawing.
No, I don't remember that. What is that?
It's an SNL skit that Mike Myers, who, Austin Powers and all that, he was this kid who would sit in a bathtub and talk about his drawings. I don't know. It's kind of a funny little thing.
There were like 2 seasons of Saturday Night Live that I watched pretty religiously, and that was the beginning and end for me. You guys know me. Comedy, I don't rush out and watch. Ever.
Oh, yeah. My dad just always watched them when I was a kid, so it's like I would see stuff.
Gotcha. You know what? Somebody, I hate, I should just be copying and pasting these things when I see them. Otherwise, I have to like scroll way back in the chat. But somebody asked, hey, I'm new to the channel. Do we know where we can find? Here it is. It's Jetin Krisnicki. Says, yo, man, I love your channel. I just found out about it recently. Any way I can get VR games for cheap? Yes, the PlayStation Store has had a ton of sales recently. So make sure you always keep an eye on that, and we'll generally keep you up to date on all the sales that happen on the PlayStation Store. But even better than that, come watch the PlayStation VR Award Show this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be giving away games pretty much from beginning to end. I've got a ton of keys to give away, and I don't think I have a ton of variety as far as games go, but for each of the games I'm giving away, I have a lot of keys. So
1,000 copies of Saints and Sinners to be distributed.
Nope, but there are going to be some copies of Saints and Sinners.
That's the official line.
So come by and get some free games and enjoy the show with us.
So everybody in the chat knew what I was talking about. Simon.
Wait.
His name was Simon, and he likes to do drawings. Yeah.
Now that you say his name, it's kind of coming back to me, and I guess we should move along because I got nothing else to say about it.
Let's go.
Move along.
All right. What's next on the Roper Report, AJ?
Is SNL the AEA of comedy?
Maybe. For just anyone out there, we're totally riffing on Kind of Funny / Podcast Beyond. Roper Report, long-standing thing. I'm huge.
These two are no. Let me make this clear. These two are. I am just trying.
I'm not riffing on anything. I hate when we riff on things. No, I have a list of things.
I watch Kind of Funny more than these guys, and I try to just do my own thing. Now, I will say,
you always do.
Kind of Funny, Beyond Cast, everything is not why I ever started doing this. I never intended to start doing this. I will say though, I did get a lot of ideas for the structure of this show from the Beyond crew back in the day, but I was never like inspired by it to do it.
I feel like you were inspired by the Midnight Gamescast, which is really what this show is. Which, by the way, just podcast
that would be
Beyond.
More inspired. I mean, that would definitely be more where the inspiration comes from, for sure.
That show is just Podcast Beyond. That's all it was.
I just needed a place to talk about PSVR nonstop, and
I adopted you and took you under my wing.
Yes,
little bird, and now you fly away. Okay.
Also, watch Kind of Funny; they're amazing.
Of course, you should watch Kind of Funny. Of course, you should.
Yeah. Love those guys. All right, so Dash World, you guys had an awesome update for us. With a lot of Quest games and PC VR games, they tend to come out as like almost like a little bit more than just tech demos, and then they get more content. Once they get enough to call it like a full-fledged like game, then usually we see it on PSVR. So this is one we've been keeping an eye on, and Dash just got a recent update that adds even more content. There's some significant gameplay features that I think we might be able to look forward to potentially. But they've added 3 new maps and more campaigns. You guys played a little bit of those. Did it have a campaign? Like, I'm guessing like a circuit or something?
Not when I jumped in. When I jumped in,
remember one.
Yeah. It was okay. It's single player against bots, and you just pick your course. And it was against, I think, 3 or 4 other people. It certainly wasn't 8-player multiplayer when I jumped in and played. And it was it was like individual races, and you'd like gain credits eventually as the beta went on and kept updating. Eventually, like, it did give you a progression system where you got credits and you start opening like these loot boxes, and you start getting these customization things for your character and for your car. But now it does seem like it's a full-fledged actual campaign, which is very cool because that's what I want in any game.
Okay, so that's cool. Yeah, I love the campaign. I cleared the whole entire campaign of touring carts. I beat the game of touring carts, the single player campaign, more than what it would allow me to do. Like there was supposed to be more. I beat the entire game and it unlocked a Spartan Cup, and the Spartan Cup wasn't even coded or like programmed. And I don't even know if anybody else got there to that point. But this, of course,
I'm
is
sure you're the only guy in the world who did really well at that.
There's nobody else. There had to have been somebody else that got a gold in all of the races, all 3 difficulties.
There's like one, there's like PSVR Brazil dude. I think he.
Yeah, I would. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, he was on every single leaderboard. He was the only person I saw, other than you, on every single leaderboard for every single difficulty, every single trophy type.
Some of the game cats were in there. Who was it? I can't remember his name now. It's been too long. It's actually almost exactly a year ago. Touring carts came out. It was middle of December,
and we still don't have Crash Team Racing. What is wrong with the world?
However, so the cool thing, the really significant update here that I see is the steering update. They have added it so that you have 2 move control. Well, at least let me say, they show it that they've added 2 hands to control the steering wheel. And one game has been the first to do this. Get those off the screen right now. Get those off the screen.
I'm just trying to piss you off. I know you hate other headsets. I'm changing the channel right now, AJ. It's VR Without Parole. Fuck you, PlayStation. It's over. Give us PSVR 2 or I'm out of here. All Quest all the time. There's one person in the chat that's like, woohoo.
Probably a couple more, but no. Mini Motor Racing X did this update, and man, it was so cool. It was like very immersive and a lot of fun. And you would think that programming this would be a nightmare. I mean, trying to simulate 2 hands on a steering wheel and stuff. But yeah, I'm hoping with PSVR 2, Brian, I'm hoping that this is something we eventually see with the adaptive triggers.
Yep. Holding
a steering wheel, kind of feel grip on the steering wheel and stuff would be kind of cool. But before that, even with this is supposed to be a PS4 game, PSVR 1 game. Yeah, I don't know. It worked great in Mini Motor Racing X. Did you guys try it out with that?
I didn't. No. I'm not a big fan of like move controller based. What are you guys smiling about? Going like this? I don't like this too much. I have 5 minutes, by the way. I'm gonna have to bounce in 5 minutes.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah, and I had to let Carlos in.
Sorry, sirens on my end.
Carlos.
Can we not? We used to rock paper scissors every time, and now we never do it anymore.
Because it was a slap. Wasn't it a slap bet back on the GAMESCAST on Midnight GAMESCAST? Like, what do we do here? Slap ourselves?
Yeah, there was a slap, and also there's like a delay, and it's all weird.
Well, you can reach through the screen and slap each other.
In all fairness, I just wanted to get slapped by Michelle. That was the only reason we did it. I was like, what's she going to do? What's she going to do? Rock? I'm totally doing scissors.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, no, playing Dash Dash World, I wonder, I feel like they're just going to change the name to Dash Dash Racing someday. I think that's what everybody calls it. But Dash Dash World, when I first played the beta, the only control type they had was using the analog stick. So there you are, you get 2 hands, but you're using the analog stick and using the triggers for gas and brake and to drift. And so it felt weird, but also you needed those 2 hands to reach out and like do the weapon stuff, right? You'd get like a big frying pan and you'd be like, well, I'm so glad I have this hand free. I don't have to have it on the wheel because I need to slam this guy with a frying pan next to me, or I need to shoot him with like an egg gun. I forget what all the wacky weapons were. But now I feel like this is going to be kind of cool because, we'll see how it works. Hopefully it'll work well because you'll hold on to one hand and then, and still keep turning. Like this is how most people drive anyway, with one hand. So you still have the other hand to use with the weapons. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It'll be interesting. And of course, we're assuming all this is going to be in there when this thing launches on PlayStation VR. And that's why we're excited about talking about all these updates that are on Quest and stuff like that.
Right.
Because when it gets here, it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I know J Mal has been saying a lot of stuff about this game. Couple of the cats in the chat right now are really excited about this one because it is like a battle kart racer kind of deal. So that is something we really, really want. Touring karts, I loved. I actually spent about 21 hours in that game. But it wasn't a full on like Mario Kart style, Sonic Racing Transform style game.
Well, when you said it should be called Dash Dash Racing and not Dash Dash World, I feel like Dash Dash World is the sequel to Dash Dash Racing, and that's the way you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like Sonic All-Stars Racing, and then you get transformed after that. You add the funky word that isn't racing after the first one.
If there was some cool social hub and stuff where I could hang out and do stuff other than racing, then Dash Dash World sounds
like it was like a world. Yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely, be like Nintendo Land style, right?
Ooh, that would. I missed Nintendo Land. That was kind of fun.
I knew that was going to
get some good games in there. Yeah. Wii U is still got a place in my heart.
Nintendo, it got a place on my shelf. That's about it.
I think AJ still has his Wii U too, right?
Yeah, I'm never selling that thing. I don't like the idea of steering with two, like using a steering wheel with two like joysticks. Like I like using either my T150 Pro or again, touring karts had the awesome thing of having the wheel and the move controller so that you had like a hand that you could grab stuff and throw it around with, or you could just press buttons and use it. I'm not saying I'm against it, but I would definitely have to get used to that. That would be weird to me.
You know what I'm curious about? We talked about DWVR earlier, and we said you can do a PS5 specific patch, and Sony prefers that, right? But can you do one to take advantage of the DualSense? Because I would love to play this with DualSense support, where you can feel, the haptics and stuff like that. Not that they necessarily have the budget to implement all these fancy DualSense options, but it would be kind of cool to be able to do that. And like to have a game where if it doesn't require light bar tracking, let you use the DualSense in VR on PS5.
I think if there was enough people yelling at Sony to do it, they would eventually cave and let us do it. When you talk about, we've had the conversation about, you want to keep PSVR 1 and PS5 separate. We're using fucking move controllers from 10 years ago. There's nothing that screams like that we absolutely can't allow this to happen for the future thing.
Everybody gives Sony a hard time for not allowing backwards compatibility, but these things are from the PS3 and they still work. So you can't say that they don't have backwards compatibility.
Right. But yeah.
All right. I got to bounce, guys. My call is about to start here. I will hopefully be back soon. If not, see you guys later on. But I think I'll be back before the end of the show. So
can you just turn off your screen instead of?
Indeed, I can.
Thank you so much.
Keep it sleazy.
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
All right.
Just me and you, baby.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, that's what you thought.
He's gonna do this for the rest of the show, by the way.
Yeah.
So now I gotta kind of fix the layout, because Dave, even when Dave turns off his camera, he still ends up above your name. So what are you gonna do?
All right. So really excited to hear more on this game eventually. Are you ready for the next one?
There we go. I fixed the names. Yeah, I'm ready for the next one. Is everyone in the chat ready for the next one?
We've gotten word from Humanity.
Yeah.
We obviously figured this game was going to be delayed unless it was coming out within the next 15 days or so.
So it's going to be delayed unless it wasn't going to be delayed.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you.
Humanity, which is known to have PSVR support, was supposed to come out 2020, and they tweeted out recently that 2020 took an unexpected turn for humanity. I wonder if I'm guessing they're kind of doing a play on words there, if they're doing that on purpose, or if they're, I don't know. But they say 2020 took an unexpected turn for humanity, but 2021 is our year. Happy holidays, stay safe, and we'll see you next year. So, and then they had like this little sign of all these people coming together with the little humanity lemmings looking things and form the letters 2021. So looks like humanity, I think it's safe to call at this point, is going to be 2021 title.
I think so. I think that's exactly what they were telling us with that tweet. He said
It's official now. It's official now.
right, right. I mean, it sucks, you know. I mean, we're certainly like in a little bit of a drought. It doesn't suck, you know, that the game itself is delayed. It just sucks that, like, you know, with the way things are in the world, that a lot of games are being delayed, and that sort of just like sort of stretches out all this release schedule that we had. I feel like what happens when all these games get delayed is that they don't get rescheduled very well, and that always leads to a kind of a clusterfuck like we had at the end of October. And you know, we had like 5 games come out in the course of 2 weeks, like 5 really big games, 5 really exciting games, and I just really hope that 2021 gets their shit sorted out, and I mean that like in every sense of the word. I hope that the world improves, and everyone's situation improves, and everything over at Sony kind of gets ironed out, and they figure out their release schedule, and they start being a little bit more transparent and figuring things out, and just make it a nice smoother year than this one was.
Yeah, I think we're going to see stuff start to recover and pick up again around halfway of next year. So it, you know, obviously you can only imagine what this year did to developers and different companies and stuff. And in terms of development, we've seen many games come out unscathed for the most part, but a lot of them were like kind of already almost finished and just got lucky. But anything that's like in the middle of development right now, or was in the or earlier in this year, you have to imagine it hit some really huge walls, and have had to regroup. And you know, like how we just heard from Impulse Gear saying this year wrecked us, but we have established a full remote workspace, and we are coping with that.
I think
so. This is
I mean, I think what we should be thankful for is that the game still exists, that the studio is still trucking along, that it's still being funded. Obviously, you know, it's an Enhanced Games product. It's being produced by Enhanced Games. So you know, at least they've got a little bit of money behind them. It's not just like this super small independent studio that's got, you know, that's just like hung out to dry. Because, I mean, one of the things I learned during the award show is there are all these different developers who have announced PlayStation VR games. And so, of course, what I want to do is contact all of them and be like, hey, what's the progress on your game? And there's so many that I just didn't hear back from, and there's a little part of me that dies, you know, when Mono Wheels, like the Mono Wheels developer doesn't respond, and I'm like, God, please tell me that someone out there is still working on Mono Wheels. Like, I know that's a pipe dream, but like that game was almost dead. It came back to life. We thought there was some hope, and then it might be dead again. And hopefully, you know, if that is the case, hopefully all these studios landed on their feet and they found new jobs and other places to work. But then what happens to Mono Wheels? You know, I care about the developers, but I'm also curious about the game. I'm like, that was going to be our road rash, VR road rash.
Yeah, they received. I mean, they were an example of a company affected by this year where they received the funding that they needed, and everything was looking great, and then this shit hit, and then they lost that funding again because the money was cut off for obvious reasons. And it's not really anybody's fault. I'm not blaming anybody, but it's just the way it is sometimes. And, you know, these huge companies really are in a better position to deal with these situations and stuff. People that have established something, because this was, you know, I don't know. But like you said, Enhance is going to be fine. This game has a lot of promise to it, being from Enhance, I think, and Tetsuya Mizuguchi, awesome dude. And we just gotta hope for the best. But obviously, we'll have to wait and hear more. Maybe we'll start hearing stuff. You know, I think the PS5 launch has also taken a lot of attention when it comes to having to prioritize certain things. Obviously, Sony in general. We were talking about this last night, Brian.
Yeah.
Their movies are not even available. Like, there is a Sony motion pictures, I think, and like those aren't even available on the PS5 yet. Right now, they were like, get the PS5 out and get some games for it, and like that's what all resources have been dedicated toward. And yeah, stuff like movies are not even there. I mean, imagine all the money that they are burning right now by not having these movies available on PS5. So to me, it's kind of a similar thing. We got to wait for things to start turning around. But I'd like to, optimistic me says next few months we'll start hearing more about everything going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically proof positive that Sony wasn't ready to launch the PlayStation 5, that it launched basically in beta form, and that they hadn't quite worked out all the kinks. And it's fascinating to hear. I thought the mobile app, the mobile PlayStation app, which just got recently redesigned and redone, and it's pretty slick, and it works great on my iPhone. But I was shocked to hear that all this time you could actually buy and rent movies from the PlayStation app on Android. And I've had an iPhone for so long that I didn't even know there was a possibility. So it just weirds me out to be like, okay, so not only this work call must be like really strenuous over there, Dave. He's like changing his logo and shit. This video is sponsored in part by EA. No, it's not. Hey, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? So I'm like, so I'm confused now, right? So all this time, I just figured, okay, on the mobile app and on the PC side of things, you can't buy or rent movies. That's fine. You can only do it on the console itself. But then to find out that this whole time you could do it on Android apps, that's crazy. And now the PlayStation 5, you can't do it. I was like, so now I'm confused. I don't know if this is like, oh, they launched without that support, without the proper licenses to be able to sell all these movies from all these places, or if like that's just, I don't know. They can't abandon that. But like, where else could they make it pop up? I don't know. It's just so strange that like this must be a huge source of revenue, and they're just ignoring it. I'm so confused right now.
Yeah.
Dave has also been purchased by EA in just in the last 5 minutes. He said, so.
It's cool. Somebody's gonna think we have like a guest from EA or something coming on soon. Anyone just joining in?
They're gonna be really disappointed when this work call is over. No offense, Dave.
Bryan,
hi.
GameCats, Dave, Dave. I've got something special for you guys, man. I have, for the past almost past couple days, I made you guys a Christmas gift, and I hope you check it out. Dreamboarders, guys, has a Christmas level. I just finished it today and just published it. As soon as I published it, it had like 3 likes already, so I feel good.
Oh, I forgot to like it. Damn it.
Oh yeah, I wasn't counting on you for that. Trust me. He's like, "There's no downvote button. Where is it?" Right. But I can report it at least. But yeah, man. Dreamboarders Christmas level. It's called a VRE snowboard. Dreamboarders. I can't even remember the name. A VRE Dreamboarders Christmas.
It's a very Brady Christmas. It's very Brady Christmas.
So yeah, man. I hope you guys enjoy. Brian's actually got some of his own footage. Oh man, you are terrible, Bryan.
It's the last time I do anything for you.
Oh, he's gonna hit the side. I'm watching your gameplay now. It's very Christmas themed. It's got just tons of stuff, man. Tons of Christmas stuff.
I'm grinding. I'm grinding a giant candy cane. What more do you want from me?
It looks good. It looks good on the footage. I'm excited to see. Oh, you just missed that one. Too bad, little buddy. You'll get it next time.
Everyone knows I suck at video games, and now you all know I suck at Dreamboarders.
You face planted so hard into that. Oh man. No, but
I love that your commentary is like literally 20 seconds behind the rest of the show.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can only watch the YouTube feed. No, it looking good though, man. Thank you for capturing that footage. I was gonna do a video, ran out of time because we had to get ready for GamesCast. But anybody who's starving for some Christmas updates, go on, get it. It does work on PS4 Pro. I don't know about PS4 OG. I did it on a PS5. So this is the cool thing. This wasn't just a shameless plug here. There was a cool discovery in this process. It was a little bit.
No, 100%. We didn't find anything out. Nothing.
There was a cool thank you guys, by the way. There was a cool discovery in this process. So when you make games in Dreams, you have way more space, and like you can add literally like twice, if not 3 times as much on on a PS5 Dream than you can a PS4 thing. However, I went back and tested it on a PS4 Pro, and it was able to run the game. It was a little bit blurrier, like slightly a little blurry, which really wasn't present on the PS5 version. But it actually, for the most part, it's really only like the really high detailed things that had a little blur on it. But so I just thought it was really awesome that you can create bigger games on a PS5 and then still play them in VR on a PS4. I thought that was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. You know, when Super Hot had the Boxing Day update last week, it was, you know, it was cool. Obviously, they added a ton of cool features like leaderboards and you know, point scoring system and all that stuff. But it was just like how random the Christmas theme was that like really sold the whole thing, and I think that goes a long way here in Dreamboarders as well. You start it up and it's like Christmas music, and then it's like metal Christmas music.
Yes. Yep. There is a little bit. That was the closest thing to metal Christmas music I could find. All made from people in Dreams that I just borrowed. A lot of those assets, all those presents, all those, like, so many things in there that I just copied and pasted and stuff. And yeah, I did make the little red dot on the nose of the board myself. That I will take credit for. It took me all of 5 seconds. Dreams is amazing, man. I freaking love this game.
Yeah. No, I'm my goal this year was to have a like a scary game. I wanted to make a scary game in Dreams in VR and have it ready for Halloween. And man, like I feel like this was just a crazy year, and like nothing went as planned, and I've still made nothing in Dreams. But 100% next year, I plan to have a scary game in Dreams by Halloween. I swear. And if anybody wants to take over the channel for a month, I'll do it way sooner.
I saw like MC Alchemist or War Garble or somebody talking to the dude that made Alpine Dream, that like legit snowboarding game that he spent like a year on, and he said he wanted to take a break but wanted to come back, and I was worried that when you take a break, if you lose it, like, do you forget how to do everything? And I was a little rusty at first, but I was very happy to see that it starts to come back pretty quick, despite being on a Dreams creation hiatus for months. Everything started coming right back, which was nice.
Nice. Shout out to Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat, with the $10 donation. It says, money for cookies for Santa. I just talked to the red man. Did you also talk to Method Man? I actually said you've been good boy, Bryan. Go figure. I mean, I feel like I put on a pretty good show for Santa and everyone else. I say, and I pretend like I'm really good, and I do, and I'm wholesome and virtuous, and I go to church every Sunday. But man, behind the scenes, I'm one perverted motherfucker. And I'm glad Santa can't see behind the curtain. Thank you so much, Donatello. Really love you and appreciate you.
But yeah, so I'm still gonna do a couple more updates to this. If you just search the word VRE, you'll find it, or you can type in Dreamboarders and it'll pop up. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe I'll stream it later.
Yeah, good thing to note for sure that it's not another level in Dreamboarders. It is its own dream.
Right.
So
right.
Good stuff.
All right. So surprise drop on the store. Follia, Dear Father.
Yeah.
The one that got away from Bryan.
I think I lost a pizza bet.
You lost, but lucky for you, it balanced out. But Follia, Dear Father popped up on the PlayStation Store, on the PS4 store, for $34. Doesn't have VR.
We need to talk about the price before anything else. Yeah, it doesn't have VR. But $34, this is insanity, right? Because first and foremost, Sirens on my end, they are charging $20 on Steam with, I believe, if I have my I think it's a $6 VR download. And so $26 maximum with VR support. And then here we are, $34, no VR support. I mean, that is, first of all, it's ludicrous, and the messaging was horrible, right? There was no messaging. Nobody at Real Game Machines came out and said, hey guys, here's the situation, right? We still need this somebody from Real Game Machine to. I mean, it's a very very small team, right? These are some indie devs working on a cool ass horror game. We need them to be public about what their plans are. Are you still adding PSVR support at some point? At this point you can't charge for the VR DLC. You've already included that in the price and then some. And then on top of that, is there extra content in the PSVR version? Doubtful. Is there more content coming to the PlayStation VR version? Doubtful. But these are but this is definitely something that this team needs to come out and say. I don't think that anyone cared about this game outside of VR.
Yeah, VR was the best chance that this game had. And you know what's even worse is that on a PS5, if you go to the store, you can't even find it. It's not even listed under the new games, new releases on PS5. On the PS5 store. Yeah. Wow. I was looking for it and I went to the PS4 section. I couldn't find it. Went to the PS5 section, did an order and everything. Could not find it at one, couldn't find it at all. And I'm like, what a shit show. Not surprising at all. But it sucks, man. It sucks because, we were definitely looking forward to this game. I mean, I think if there is any chance of it still coming out flat is the best chance it has. And then getting VR support later down the line in an update. That is really the only thing I can see left happening in terms of VR. But if they don't, they are doomed. But with that price, they're going to be doomed anyways. $34 for this. I don't even this game had an average of 5, 6 out of 10. To not realize the competition, to not put your game on the store at a competitive price to me is just all of your marketing people should be fired. Or whoever made these decisions.
They don't have marketing people. They just don't.
Right.
This is, as far as I know, this is a very small team. I think there's maybe, I don't even want to start guessing the numbers, but I mean, if there's more than 6 people working on this game, I'd be very, very doubtful of that. Sorry, my chair's squeaking now too. God, all sorts of random noises coming.
Every time your chair squeaks, it reminds me of PT, and it freaks me out. Because PT had the swinging stuff on the ceiling I remember, and it sounds just like it. It freaks me out.
Good. Well, maybe I should keep the squeak then, because a little horror theme to every single GAMESCAST isn't the worst thing ever.
No, but you're right though. There were obviously no marketing team for this, but it's just amazing to me that, I guess it's not the hardest thing to think about, but to release a game in this market and not know the market at all. To me, it's just how do you go into this industry and pay no attention to what's going on around you? I mean, I don't know. Well, Andrew, what was that? What was that other game that was $30?
I don't know. There's a lot of.
It was the Brick Breaker one. Oh, Space Invaders. Space Invaders was also $30.
I don't know. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Andrew C says, "Don't blame the devs for the price. Blame Sony versus Steam's cut." Here's the thing: most games don't sell very well on Steam. That is the dirty little secret that no one likes to talk about. Games don't sell that well on Steam unless they're a fucking huge hit. But games sell so much better on the PlayStation Store by comparison, and so that is why most developers developers who have done this before don't mind taking the cut and charging the same exact price as the Steam version, because they know they're going to sell a whole lot more copies on PlayStation. And it's only the developers that price gouge to make up the cost on their end, to make up the profit on their end, that end up getting fucked. That is the end of the story. No one's buying this at $34. No one bought Throw anything at, how much did that game launch at? $24 or something. It was something insane. $30. I mean, it was something crazy.
I think it was $18.99.
Whatever it was. I mean, it should have been $10.
Yeah.
But it was
right.
But it is and again, there was a price discrepancy there, and they were just making up their loss, which you're going to find out very quickly if you start trying to make to get the same profit from each game sale on PlayStation as you do on Steam. You're not going to sell any games, and then you're not going to make any profits. And so, yeah, Sony takes a big cut. But that's how they make their money. That's how we can get a PlayStation 5 for $500 or $400, because they'll take a loss on that and then recoup it with game sales. You can spend $700 on a console if you want to, and then the games will be $4 cheaper.
A lot of the chat is making bringing up that the end of this trailer says PlayStation VR. That is an old trailer, just to let you know.
This is an old
I don't think,
trailer.
yeah, this is a very, very old trailer. And the last we heard from them was actually earlier this year. I think it was February, March, April, somewhere around there. Probably February or March, where they actually tweeted out a picture of one of their developers with a PSVR headset and said they really tried to be like encouraging about it. They're like, COVID's not going to stop us from doing this shit. And they tweeted that out. And yeah, like some of the developers even followed me and stuff on Twitter. And I was a little bit more optimistic than just dead silent.
Well, and that's the problem. When your last message is this is coming to PlayStation VR, definitely. Look, here's a headset. We're doing it right now. Then you need
Right.
you need to update that message before the game comes out. I'm sure a bunch of people probably picked this thing up and said, and then we're disappointed it didn't have VR support. I'm a bunch is probably the wrong term.
Three Bryan Pauls.
Right. And I'm not buying this thing until it has PSVR support. Unfortunately,
No.
I don't know.
Well, it sucks that you bought Nostos and you didn't buy. It sucks that you bought Nostos and not this, because at least maybe with this one you maybe would have liked it to some degree. But I think for research purposes, it was cool to buy Nostos.
What was that? $20? That was immediately $20 down the drain. Literally,
it was like
zero
taking
seconds
money
of fun.
and taking a lighter to it and just lighting that money on fire.
Yeah, 0 seconds of fun, and it actually cost me a bunch of time to like sink into Nostos and see if it was any good. The answer is no, it's not. But again, that was another thing, and I do understand. I think there's probably some people, like in the chat that are saying, there are probably things that happen behind the scenes, and I don't doubt that for a second. I was this game's champion, saying it doesn't matter if it's not an amazing game. Like, Don't Knock Twice is not a good game. Like, just like it's buggy and it's got some issues, and it's janky. And if it wasn't a horror game, no one would play it. But it's a horror game, and it's playable, and there are some good things about it. And so I was like, oh man, if this game's $20 and it has VR support and like it's scary, then sign me up. I'm all about that. I can even deal with some bugs, and I can deal with if the gameplay's not amazing, if it's scary, give me a $20 great VR experience, last couple hours. That's what this sounds like it lasts. I'm totally down. And they didn't manage to do that. And so yeah, the reviews on Steam are not terribly good. It's been a while since I checked.
The encouraging part is that the bad reviews on Steam were more about it being buggy, and also the flat version. The few positive reviews that it had were actually the VR ones. And they said, besides a couple bugs, this game is decent. So, I don't think this game is going to be big. Thank God we have stuff like the next game we're going to talk about. Yeah.
Well, before we move on, fingers crossed for sure for a price correction, and for PSVR support, and an update from Real Game Machine, because that's what we need. We just need people to start talking about things, man. We want Sony to start talking about things. We want developers to start talking about things. Just give us some information, and give us, when you set a time and you say, what, it doesn't seem like this is going to be ready for the next 8 months. I don't care. Tell me 8 months. Even if that is an exaggeration. If you want to give yourself a big safety net and say, well, it's probably gonna be done in 3 months, but let's tell people 8 months. That's fine. Just tell us, and that way we can set our expectations.
Well, I think we've learned that some businesses operate like a business and they don't really care about transparency. If us not knowing if this game is VR and people buy it and they benefit from that, we're kind of learning that there are companies that will go ahead with it anyways, and go out of their way even to hide and not be transparent to protect the sales, even at the cost of their integrity.
Yeah, and
reputation. Well, and a small team like this has nothing to worry about because nobody really knew about this game anyways.
But we keep talking about it though. That's the problem. We should stop talking about this game until. Yeah, is that? I've got sirens on my end. You've got what? Dogs barking on your end?
Dogs on my end.
Craziness.
Dog is on my end. Sorry.
All right, let's move along. This was disappointing. So.
Yeah, I think you were more disappointed than I was. Brian, what's not...
Wait, hold on. Great transition. Great segue into the next that I'm going to totally ruin. You know why I'm hugely disappointed?
because I won the bet.
Because I'll fucking buy you 7 pizzas if this thing gets PSVR support. I don't care. Pizza's away. I'm disappointed because this was a horrible year for horror games. Horrible year. Like, we got Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, which was fun.
No, that was last year.
No,
I don't know. That was last October.
You're
dog.
Right.
I don't think we got. I don't know if we got a single horror game this year, and I think that's why you're mad.
I'm so mad. I don't want to play video games anymore. This is bullshit. I quit. Right.
I told you before, I didn't even care about horror games very much until VR. And then, I've always liked them, but I was never like super into them.
Mm-hmm.
Still not into them as much as you are. But yeah, I definitely love them. But Brian, let's lighten the mood here, okay? Because Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife, did give us a little bit more information, is coming to PlayStation VR pretty soon. And recently shared a couple things with Upload VR during their something. So you watched it, I didn't.
I don't know.
You were chatting it up with Fast Travel Games in the chat room.
We were the only 2 people talking on the stream.
But yeah, they gave us like 5 new things to look forward to with Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. Like, they are really hyping up this game, which, it's Fast Travel Games. I like Fast Travel Games. I'm not going to buy into their amounts of hype that they're doing it, but I'm going to be excited for this game.
Well, yeah, and let's talk about their amounts of hype, because as much as we want to say, man, we've got a good relationship with them. We've certainly played their games, and they deliver quality games. However, when you start saying comparing the scares to things like Amnesia Descent, The Dark Descent, and Alien Isolation, or even saying, that part in Resident Evil 7 that everyone fucking jumped at, you say we've got a few of those. I'm like, really? Now, it's not that I don't believe them. Yeah. It's that they are setting expectations so high that I'm scared even they can't meet them.
It's so common these days, under promise and over deliver.
Right.
Like, it's the easiest way to sell your game or to get stuff. But yeah.
Meanwhile, I couldn't be more excited about this because they are selling it so well. They're saying all the right things, and now they just need to deliver on those right things.
It's working on you.
Was it Andreas Juliusson who had his wife try to play the game and she couldn't make it past the introduction? And he goes, "That's what we call a successful playtest." I was like, damn. I'm like, you send that game over this way, my friend, and let's see how far I make it.
So it's not all doom and gloom, Brian. You get your horror game coming very soon. Maybe even more horror games coming pretty soon.
Anything's possible.
But yeah. Brian, do you have the notes of the 5 things that we learned?
No. But before we dive into the 5 things, let's give a shout out to Red Rover, the effing Game Cat, with a $5 donation, saying Dave should play a background video in Zoom of himself nodding and contemplating, then come back into GAMESCAST. So just like this is, so Dave just listens and goes.
I like that idea.
You can turn off the screen every so often, and drink coffee. No, that's me. Okay. I agree. Like, Dave's awfully silent this episode. Thank you to Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat. Bryan says, man, $5 donation. We appreciate it. Says, man, I didn't realize we didn't get a horror PSVR game this year. Now I'm mad. we pissed off Donatello. This is not going well at all. Wraith Afterlife has to be the best horror game ever now. It has to, because it's got a lot to make up for. Fast Travel Games didn't realize this when they were making it, but they are the savior of VR horror on PSVR at this point. I totally agree.
And Fast Travel, that's a good company to have this and to have in their hands. That's a good genre to have in their hands, because they are. Fast Travel is awesome, man. As not perfect as Apex Construct was, the things that it did right, and that was their first game, mind you, the things that it did right, were amazing.
Absolutely. So luckily I can scrub through this video, and we can just cheat and read all the reasons. So this video is narrated by Andreas Juliusson, and he says 5 reasons to enter the afterlife early next year. I'd like to know what early next year means, by the way. I would love to know if early is like anything before July. Like first half is definitely still early in the year, or is this January, February, March kind of thing? I'd love to know. Okay, first reason, you are a Wraith with supernatural powers, which I don't know if you guys saw my interview with Andreas, and then also I interviewed another member of the team, but his name escapes me right now. It'll come back to me, I swear. It's a little strange to be playing as like a spirit, a specter, and that you have supernatural powers. This is usually something that you'd be scared of in a horror game. So this is definitely an interesting take. This is not a typical take on the horror genre. I'm a little confused, honestly, to be like, is this going to affect the horror level?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Right, because you can die in the game, and there are other spirits that are evil and can certainly take you out, and so you have to be wary of them. But
I think I wouldn't be surprised if your character is more like a humanoid kind of character.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be scary at all. So I imagine, yes, it'll still be scary despite you being a specter.
Right, and they're showing off the powers. Like you get some telekinesis powers here. You're able to here's some footage of being able to walk through walls, which you can't do from the get-go. So it definitely. I love to use the term Metroidvania, even when they're not Metroidvanias. But it's like I'm sure, like as you progress, there are going to be areas of the Barclay Mansion that you can access that you couldn't access before. I don't think Fast Travel would want us using that term to describe their game, but that's kind of the feeling I get to a small degree. Barclay Mansion number 2 is not your typical haunted house. This is interesting, right? Because there's something keeping me from thinking of Wraith as a big game. There's
me telling you.
You. Well, I mean, because it's bigger than Apex Construct, and Apex Construct was a decently big game, and this is.
It's bigger than Apex Construct because Apex was pretty big.
I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't like huge.
So like I want this being one of the 5 reasons to play the game. I'm very curious to see how big this manor is. It's like 17 floors. It's have 200 rooms. I don't know. It's like I'm very, very curious to see how big this place is. Something about this game makes me think it's a small game, and I just want to. I don't know. I'm just ready to be more familiar with what it's really like. Number 3, there is a horrifying mystery to unravel, which a lot of horror games don't have a good story, and this makes me think that there's probably going to be one.
Now, the storytelling in Apex I thought was amazing. It was so good. The characters, the storytelling and stuff. I was so immersed in that world.
Mm-hmm.
It was really like the deep gameplay elements that it lacked for me. But like the mother, the father, the characters, all that I thought that was amazing. So yeah, I could see this being pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Fast Travel is pretty good at telling stories. Even I know it's a much smaller game, but the Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets that had a fun little story to go along with it. So I do think that these guys have the chops to tell a nice scary story. Yeah. Number 4, stay away from the specters, which I think kind of goes without saying.
See, that's the cool thing. It's gonna have like ghosts and stuff, and in games, ghosts and stuff. I don't believe in ghosts, but they still scare the hell out of me, like in video games and stuff.
You don't believe in ghosts because you don't live here. If you lived in my apartment, you would believe in ghosts immediately.
I've been to your apartment.
You've been
I ain't
here.
afraid no ghosts.
Yeah, you didn't.
Bryan.
You didn't sleep here. You didn't live here by yourself. I quit. And number 5, it all takes place in the world of darkness, which I'm not horribly familiar with. Right? I mean, I've never played any of those games before, but it does.
Again, back to the storytelling. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Back to the storytelling stuff. That will be if they really nail that properly. Yeah, that will be badass. Because there's a whole dynamic. There's. It's hard to explain. It's like D&D for goths. Okay, like very, very lots of lore. Every character has like a deep background, has a story and stuff. So we'll see how much they really dive into that. But again, something that could really help. I mean, I think a story-driven horror game, yeah, that sounds great.
This is the same world as like Vampire the Masquerade, right?
I don't know if, yeah, I mean, I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm back. It is the same world as Vampire the Masquerade and Hunter the Reckoning,
Ooh.
Wraith, Oblivion.
Put that
There's
on
like
GameCube.
one other werewolf. There's like a werewolf one.
There is a werewolf one.
They've
And
got all these.
There's actually a werewolf
I
game
played
coming out.
Vampire. There is, yeah. I played the. Isn't there a Vampire the Masquerade coming out too?
Maybe that. Yeah.
Didn't already, yeah.
But it's
So, yeah.
it basically, I think the World of Darkness made deals with like 3 different dev teams. We're like, let's start making video games based on these properties, and luckily they found fast travel to make the VR one.
So
they've been doing that for decades though, because I remember on PC I played Vampire the Masquerade games that were awesome, like back in the day, third person, kind of like action RPGs. I feel like I want to say mostly RPG though.
I didn't know Hunter the Reckoning was part of that because I did play that on GameCube. I'm pretty sure, and
pretty much if there's anything that sounds like goth with a colon and then another word or two after it, it's probably World of Darkness.
Gotcha. Shout out to Hugh Guyver with the Australian $10 donation. Thank you very much, my friend. He goes, PSVR without parole, fire, fire, fire. Cousin says hi. Yeah, say hi right back to Cousin Mac for us.
Also, quick shout out to Sin Studio. What up, Alec? Loving Swordsman, man. We were saying months and months back, we had a feeling that this was going to be a good one.
Got a feeling.
And yeah, really glad to see that Swordsman is successful. I have so much fun with that game. Every time I jump back in, dude, it's good stuff, man. The physics are so fun to just mess around with.
Well, and he's always adding new stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we hear more pretty soon. He was teasing some kind of update potentially for Christmas or something. So we'll see what's up.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
All right.
I want to snap my presents open with like some kind of cool axe or like, hack them open. Cool stuff come out.
Somebody asked if they missed the Ven VR discussion. No, you did not yet. Bryan will get to that soon. But first, before that, we have just a quick announcement from Jupiter Grad. This was the like Tarzan in space swinging with suction cups thing. They have a physical edition for this game coming out through Perp Games. And
is it January? Is it that early?
I'm looking up the date right now. At the beginning of 2021 is all it says, but they will have a physical edition for that. Heard pretty decent things. Ryan from the VR Grid said it's pretty solid, and so not expecting a world beater here, but I like the concept of this game, and I like for what the game is. I think the cell shaded style looks cool. So,
Alex, we know what the boss quote's going to be now. It's pretty solid, the VR Grid.
yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much all there is with that. We've talked about Jupiter Grad a bunch. Jupiter Grad, yeah. Real quick though, before we move on to Ven, Sin says there are presents in the hub you can pop open. I keep forgetting. Yeah, there is. If you own Swordsman, there are like a bunch of coins and experience and stuff. You can jump in and crack open and use that. I'm gonna buy that. I want that knight armor still. I haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah, if you hop in now, the last time I hopped into Swordsman, I got 1,000 gold and 100 XP or 100 skill points just as a present for the holiday. So make sure you jump in and claim that if that's still going on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so Bryan, you got a chance to play Ven VR Adventure, which just came out on PC, I think Quest or something.
And I don't know if we want to attempt this. We talked about this earlier, but I can try and stream some of it in the corner or somewhere, like from my setup here while Bryan's talking about it, because I've never played it before and I kind of wanted to get a chance to. We don't have to, but I know we brought it up before in the show, maybe.
Yeah, no, if you want to give that a shot, by all means.
Throw it on your screen.
Yeah,
I'm going to give it
a... the title of this video says Bryan played Ven VR Adventure. And what the video should have been called, the title of the video should have been like, Bryan played VR that wasn't PSVR. right? Bryan took his Quest that's been collecting dust and like didn't like seriously had negative 50 battery charge and like took an hour just to like be able to turn on because it was like blinking. It's like, sorry, Bryan, you didn't use this thing for a year, so you don't get to use it immediately. I'm sorry. You know, I had to replace all my batteries and stuff. And so that's really the headline there. It's like Bryan played VR that wasn't PSVR. I hooked it up to my PC. And there's been some serious updates, I got to say, to the Quest Link stuff. Made it way easier, more seamless, and so getting to play Ven was actually a pretty easy experience for me, and that's how I played it. Now, just a heads up, this is kind of like the reason we're doing this is because the game is coming to PlayStation VR. So far, we don't really we've only focused on PSVR games, and that's kind of how we've rolled. And
Hey, real quick, are we under embargo? Can I actually do this or not? Oh no, people have been showing off then. Never mind. I take it.
Yeah, I mean, I can double check the embargo stuff.
I think stage 1 is at least cool. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, just show off. You're gonna run out of time, so go ahead and just get like stage 1.
Yeah, just double check this real quick because I'm 99% sure the embargo lifted this morning, December 17th. That was today at 10 a.m. Pacific. So, yeah, so it's all fair game. So anyway, so I was playing on my Quest and hooked up to my PC, and I gotta say, you know, I had a lot of fears about this game. I was concerned, number one, that it was going to be like a lot of the footage that we had seen was a lot of platformings. Like, I mean, and I know it's a platforming game, but it didn't look like well-constructed worlds with platforming elements. It seemed like just a bunch of fucking platforms, and I was really concerned about that. I was like, are these going to be well thought out levels and well constructed levels? And as it turns out, the answer is yes. They're actually really well thought out, and they play with a lot of things. It actually does the Astrobot thing where sometimes like you have to look straight down and sometimes you have to like look way out into the distance, and
Nice.
yeah, and so, you know, sometimes Ven is like right there in front of you and sometimes he's like this big, way off, and I will tell you, I like that, and I don't like that, because the controls in this feel pretty good. They don't feel like real floaty or anything, but there's something just off enough that when Ven is out in the distance and he's this big, and I'm like, you know, and I'm trying to look through the screen door effect or the pixels themselves and trying to be like, okay, there's like 2 enemies over there. I'm like hoping that I'm in line, hoping that I'm going to like land on top of them when I attack them, or double jump and then use the attack and slam down. Sometimes it's just like I've got my fingers crossed and I'm really hoping it's going to work, because I can't really tell what's going on that far in the distance. And I don't like that as a gameplay mechanic. I don't like adding difficulty because the camera decided it didn't want to like follow Ven off into the distance. I like the element of some, you know, sometimes he's close and sometimes he's far away. I think God of War was an early title that did that really, really well, used a sense of scale really well. But there's something about it that just feels cheap here, and it just feels like this game wasn't hard enough, so we wanted to make it more difficult and just keep the camera far away from the character, and that's a level of difficulty. And that's not how I want to die. When I die because of that kind of thing, I get really upset, really frustrated. So that aside here, you know, I do have some of my own Ven footage here, and eventually we'll see Dave's footage in a second too.
I was going to say he's sharing his screen of the gameplay, right, Dave?
I will be in 1 sec. I just
okay. I was like, we're not going to just watch you move it around.
No. I'll be
I'm like, that doesn't tell us anything.
It's great, guys. I love it inside this headset that you can't see what's going on.
Hey, we are guilty of much worse. That's for sure.
Dave's like, you guys want to watch me play? He's like,
hold on. I think I can get it. Oh, Carlos, stop sneezing. Okay. Ooh, this looks cool already. Hold on. 1 sec. Discord, do your thing.
You might want to mute your mic for a little bit though while this is. Oh,
why isn't it? Hold on.
I think I have to click watch stream when you're.
Can you see it?
You tell me when to click it.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, cool. All right, cool.
I don't know what that did to the layout.
Who knows?
Okay, can you mute the music?
Okay, sure.
On Discord at least.
Yeah, you can. I don't know how to do it.
Here we go. I got it.
Okay, cool.
All set.
Okay, so just keep talking and they'll see me play and then I'll
Yeah, absolutely. I got my gameplay footage down below, and we got Dave's over here to the left. Um, so so yeah, and so the first world you go into, they give you a little tutorial stage, but then the first world you go into, which actually is what I'm showing here. Um, it's nice. It looks really nice. It feels a little bland. It's got like this, maybe I kept thinking Aladdin, like Arabian theme to it. Um, and it's cool, but the world felt a little bit dead. And I was like, all right, well, but at least they're giving me some platforming challenges, and they're saying, they're showing a crate way up here, and you have to stop and think and go, how do I get up there? Like, can I go from this platform over here? Can I go from this way over here? And it does do the Astrobot thing, seemingly, where it's like you move forward and the camera stops, but like, and then you have to just turn your head and like be like, okay, if I got to run off into the distance behind me, well, good luck.
So
yeah.
Yeah, how many levels did you play?
So I've only played 2 levels. I'm super early into the game. It looks like there's 12 levels because it's 3 worlds, and then.
So I imagine no challenge, right?
What do you mean, no challenge?
Was there any challenge in the gameplay? Because as
Absolutely.
somebody who, there is.
Yes, and you won't find that in the first world. The first world, like
Right.
again, it's very much starts it starts giving you like making you think and be like, how do I get from this place to this place? And there's certainly platforms you can fall off of, but it's the training wheels are on and it's pretty simple. And there's some enemies that like they're not going to cause you any problem, but you might die on them just because you're still learning the controls. When to attack, you can hit the attack button or you have to.
Intro is mega long.
It is. The intro is long,
and it looks like I can skip it with this thing, but it doesn't let me actually.
Yeah, I wasn't able to skip it, or I didn't. After a while, I didn't even bother trying.
Did you play with these things, by the way, or did you use a real controller?
No, I played with the Quest 1 controllers, like just
boring the same. Yeah. This looks so crisp. Wow, this is really nice looking.
It does look nice. It absolutely looks nice.
It's really good looking. I love the art design. The colors are very good. The background is kind of like that flat JPEG wraparound.
That is very true. Absolutely.
Really cool.
And so basically the first the first stage, again, it's pretty simple. You might die, but the big attack that you do is a double jump, and then the attack button will like go slam down to the ground. You kind of kill enemies in a perimeter, and so there's certainly some good stuff going on here. It just felt, Dave, maybe you can help me out on this. It felt a little bit sluggish, as far as the controls were going. So I don't know if you're going to experience that too. Just let me know. But overall, it felt pretty good. It wasn't like unplayable. I wasn't like, oh my god, the controls suck. My first impressions of the controls were actually that they were pretty damn good.
It's crisp as hell, though. This is like really good looking. Oh, you want to? What do you think? You're Moss or something? You think you're Quill? You want to high fives and stuff? Get out of here. All right, let's see how it moves. Jumping, running.
So as you can see with this, it's there's not a whole lot of first person stuff, and actually, I remember one of the early trailers. You could actually reach out and you could pet Ven, but I didn't. I tried to reach out and do that, and nothing seemed to happen. Oh, looks like Dave's got it going on.
Yeah,
but that's it. But that's it. So like honestly, this game it's gonna feel better on a DualShock or DualSense. Like
so I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
These controllers aren't really built for platforming, honestly.
No, we're not going to lose anything in the translation on this one at all. Like it's actually going to feel better, I think, when it comes to PlayStation.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
I just hope controller. I hope they get a PS5 patch in there because it looks so goddamn crisp. And like I see what you say about the world's feeling a little dead, but at the same time, like the colors are really nice and everything just looks so crisp that it would look pretty cool on a PS5. I hope.
Yeah, and you're gonna see that that change too because the world felt dead at first. It's like you're in a tutorial level, so of course pretty dead. But then the next level, I was like, oh man, it's like it still feels pretty dead. And then you get to like I felt like level 2, which was like this oceanside port thing that I've actually got playing down here.
I think it might be crashing. Something happened.
Oh.
Yeah, it says I lost my Wi-Fi connection to my computer.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. We've got so when you get to this port level here, it looks dramatically different, right? And it's actually like super bright and sunny, and it still has like that JPEG background, but things start to get like really challenging. And actually, like there starts to be like set pieces and stuff in the level too. So I'm running way off into the distance right now, and then like this like airship type thing just kind of like floats in, and I'm like, okay, did I just run all the way down this pier to get a couple boxes? And no, you get onto the ship, you destroy the boxes, in the thing actually moves you to the next platform. And then you'll see here, you can kind of see already that there's like this windmill thing that's flipping around. And I was like, oh, that looks really nice. But then you quickly realize you have to jump through the blades that are spinning. And so it already starts to get challenging pretty quickly.
That's good. That's good. I can't stand platformers that are too easy. To me, that is like defeats the purpose of a platformer.
Yeah, the levels are super long too. Like they're way longer than Astrobot levels. Or it seems like that so far. I've only done the tutorial, stage 1 and stage 2. That's all I had time for before Gamescast, and they are super fucking long. Like there's only 12 stages, but like I think it's gonna take a while to get through them. And there's all these little dudes you have to find. It's very much like Astrobot. Like you have to go find like your little Ben friends, and they're hidden. They're really well hidden. And so there's going to be a lot of that. You can see right now. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm way off in the distance. You can barely see my character, and that's not much better in the headset. It's really not. Like I was like, man, I'm struggling. Like my character's like 3 pixels big right now. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I don't know how I'm a big fan of that. But there's a definitely challenge here, and I think when you beat the levels, it opens up. There's a bonus, like it says bonus levels. And so I don't know what that's all about. So there's definitely stuff to unlock, time challenges, I believe. So there's a reason to go back and replay each of these levels. You can replay them proper just to go find all the collectibles that you missed, all the hidden dudes, and then also with these challenges. So 12 levels doesn't sound like a lot at first, but then I think there's a lot to go back for. And I'm pretty sure this is a $20 game, so I don't think it's going to break the bank either.
Sounds nice, man.
Sounds
kind of good.
Can you guys see it again? It seems like it's working now.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I've been able to see it.
Okay, cool. How do I select the dang level? Oh, that's okay. So
you select it, yeah, and then on your left there'd be a lever to push forward. There we go. And the ship actually starts moving. Although, like you said, it's just a JPEG out there.
Yeah, I think I'm on like a theme park ride or something.
I wonder, let me see if I can make that screen bigger, since everybody knows what we look like. There we go.
Okay, so
it's slightly better.
Then hop around.
There we go.
His little jump. Get up there, buddy. Wow, the fabric. You see that?
Yeah, stuff moves.
Oh, the way the fabric is moving. That's cool. That's clever. I like that.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
And you guys have seen all the trailers. Like, I mean, Monologic Games has been, crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. I feel like they've shown off the whole game.
Way too much. Yeah.
They basically, they've shown us, I saw somebody, I don't know if it was Braxton B, was asking about level variety. And it is, you've seen all those trailers. You've seen that there's the industrial one, the jungle one, the seaside one. There's so many. And they look really good. It's a good looking game, and the animation on Ben is pretty good too.
Yeah.
How are you feeling with the controls? Can you do me a favor and try the double jump with the attack, and tell me if that feels a little sluggish to you?
It's not the best, but it's okay. I've used it a couple times. Well, they had the tutorial bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not my favorite control scheme. It's like pretty straightforward. It's not hard to use or anything.
Totally.
But, yeah, I can see what you're saying about sluggish. How do I get that thing?
But the music is good. Like the controls are fairly good. The variety's good.
Collectibles? Those aren't collectibles, are they?
Yeah, the big ones are nothing, as far as I know.
I love platformers.
Oh shit!
I love platformers.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I was trying to get AJ back on the screen, but you just don't exist in this little world that I've got created here. I'm so
Just
sorry.
hear my voice yelling, "I love platformers."
That's right. Absolutely. So yeah, I think we let Dave keep playing this, and maybe move on. I think the thing that is important to note again, the reason we're playing this on Quest is because Monologic basically told us just a couple weeks ago, I think, that they were only working on one version of this at a time, and so PlayStation VR, we don't know how long it's going to take, but it'll be interesting, man. I think it'll be worth the wait too. Hopefully, usually when there's like a big delay like this between stuff, I know this isn't considered early access anymore, but it would be really nice to like be rewarded for the wait and be like, oh, okay, when it finally gets to PSVR, here's the 3 other levels we were working on this whole time. That kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be cool.
And Boy Brown says it's nothing special, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll be the judge of that, Boy Brown.
Playing it, or...
I mean,
Yeah, most likely, yes.
the problem is like, I mean, we don't have a lot of VR platformers, right?
No,
and so and that's kind of what I was thinking when I was playing this. I was like, man, this is cool. I was like, but there's actually not a whole lot to compare it to. Like, it's hard not to compare this to Astrobot because there's not really any other big ones out there.
Moss. I mean, the two that are getting, the two that are getting mentioned are Moss and Astrobot. Obviously, the 2 biggest platformers on PSVR. Fantastic games. Some of the best VR games. Period.
Moss definitely feels like a puzzle game. Every single time I walked into a screen, I was like, okay, let's figure out this puzzle.
Moss is a puzzle platformer, hack and slash. Like, it's got it all, man. That's why it's a perfect game.
Oh my god, Quill can suck it. That's a joke. I love Moss, but you know, it's perfect. Oh, come on now.
Oh, perfected insanity. Perfected insanity with the Skull Monkeys reference. Love you, dude.
Skull Monkeys.
Skull Monkeys.
Yes. Oh yeah, the Neverhood. Let's go.
Absolutely.
All right, so the final story of the night, guys. This week we got a huge update for Crisis Brigade 2.
What, they finally give us that multiplayer? Or what?
No, not the multiplayer, not the one everyone's waiting for.
Exactly.
But I do like this. I did think this update was pretty cool. It added 4 difficulty modes, new AI and physics, and a couple other things as well. And yeah, I checked this out yesterday. I think I streamed it, and yeah, it was cool. You know, for the easier difficulty, I think that will help a lot of people with this game that you know really like this game but don't have it. You can't play it because it's too hard, which I don't blame them. It's still brutal on the normal difficulties. Yeah, I mean, you know, everybody's saying multiplayer in the chat. You guys are saying multiplayer. I get it. I agree that is probably the biggest thing they could do for this game. It's still supposed to be coming. We just don't know when.
It's really not far out. They said it was really close. I think they might have even said a couple weeks, but basically, it's this patch had to be done first to make the multiplayer thing happen. This was all part of that, and so to get some improved physics and enemy AI and all that stuff and difficulty levels. You said right. You tried this on easier difficulty.
Yes, there is a new like easy difficulty, and what it does is it seems like it tones down the AI a little bit. But it gives you a little bit of an aim assist, and there's an indicator of when enemies are attacking you. Now, I was really excited about that at first, but really all it does, it's both useful and not useful. I'd say more towards no. It kind of helps you when it can help you when an enemy is going to shoot you. But if they're like off in the distance or you're not looking, it's not going to help you at all. All that happens is a little caution sign starts to like load above their head, and that's basically what it is. And once it fills up, you get shot. And I think, but overall, I think the tweak in difficulty is what really is going to help a lot of people with this game as well. This is a multiplayer eventually. Is going to be what everybody wants. But I like this game, man. I'm a big fan of this game, even though it's like super difficult. I am a huge fan of this game. I like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good game. It's a great game, man, I don't see myself diving back in to check out these updates until we finally get the multiplayer update. That will be the next time I jump in for sure.
Gotcha. Thank you, Dave, for showing us some Ven gameplay. Appreciate it, dude. It looked looking pretty good.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I see some people talking in the chat. We got Boy Brown saying it doesn't come close to talking about Ven VR Venture. It doesn't come close to Monster Astrobot. I totally agree. It does look nice, but nothing that couldn't be done in 2D. Also agree. And Andrew C says if it wasn't in VR, Ven wouldn't have gained any traction. And I will say that about 90% of VR games. I think you're 100% correct, but about 90% of VR games are right there with it. It's interesting to see negativity on it when it's like this has sort of been par for the course for 4 years now.
I think Dave had I really enjoyed our viewer takeover discussion earlier this week when we were talking about features, innovation, stuff like that. I really think Dave had a great point about what's going to make VR games special is when they're designed in a way where you can't do it on a flat screen. Stuff like Super Hot VR, and there was something else we were talking about that like you just can't imagine. Beat Saber, where you just can't imagine doing that on a flat screen. It wouldn't make any sense. And yeah, that's something that games are going to have to be able to distinguish. VR games are going to have to use as a way to distinguish themselves. That's what makes Astrobot so good, is how that game in flat version would just be like a bland platformer, but then you put it in VR and it's like this amazing experience.
Yeah, but I mean, part of it is like when you say stuff that can only be done in VR, there's certain things about Astrobot that feel so much more VR than what I just played in Ven. Not that it wasn't cool looking and it didn't seem fun, but like it's very much more tailor-made for VR. I didn't like the camera nearly as much in this as I did in Astrobot.
Agreed.
And it just felt like things were sort of scattered around in a way where it's like, oh, go down this alleyway that's really awkward for you to look down. And if you it's, I don't know, there's no adjustment or anything. It could use a little tweaking, but it is a pretty game. And I love those little effects, like the fabric shifting and stuff like that. I haven't seen that really in a platformer in VR before. So
yeah,
there's something to look forward to, I think.
I'd be less excited. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Kind of back on the topic of Crisis Brigade 2.
What do you
feel about this genre? You think a game like this like is enhanced by VR because it's in a 3D space, because you're physically moving around and aiming and shooting?
Everything's enhanced by VR.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do appreciate the Time Crisis pedal from the arcades where you just press the thing and you go up and down like that instead of physically crouching. But I'm lazy, so that's me.
Yeah. So sorry, boy, Bryan. I wasn't putting you on the spot, man. Like I hope I didn't misrepresent what you said. Just keeping everybody honest here. Yeah. No. I mean, VR makes everything better. Been saying this for 4 years, and honestly, like, see, that's the crazy thing. Like, you look at a game like Crisis Brigade, and it's like this game wouldn't exist on a flat screen, right? It's like we played this before, and we've played much better iterations of this before. They were called Time Crisis. They were amazing, and they were, we played them like 20 years ago. But in VR, this is like, this is very cool. It's immersive, and it gets the job done. And it's step one in what hopefully will be the VR rail shooter genre. It's like they need to take this another step forward for Crisis Brigade 3. Because what they did between Crisis Brigade 1 and 2 were basically just improve the graphics and give us one extra power-up. And then, they did tweak things here and there that made it special. But
yeah, there's more upgrade system, not upgrade, but customization, and then continues, stuff like that.
Right. But man, like I really hope when I don't know what they're working on now, but hopefully there's a Crisis Brigade 3 in the works, and hopefully it like really tackles the Time Crisis formula and like exposes what made those things good and brings it into VR like really effectively.
Well, I can assure you they're not working on a Trainer VR 2. They're probably working on Crisis Brigade 3.
I'd imagine, I mean, it seems like they just take the same concept and they iterate on it a little bit. And I was very happy with Crisis Brigade 2 in many ways. There are definitely things I agree with about the first one being better, does better. But yeah, I don't know. There's I'm pretty cool with the direction they took this one. I mean, you got to remember, there's also like multiple paths that they do. They have a good foundation for this game, and the graphics were very basic, like very early VR graphics, right? We've seen those same Unity assets like 100 times in every game. Yeah, I feel like the second game, Crisis Brigade 2, did a great job with that. So,
absolutely. God damn it, Hunter. When are you going to show us your VR game? Come on, man.
It's still in the concept stages.
I know. We want to see your concept art.
Conceptualizing.
Come on, man. If you're going to talk about it, we need to start showing things off, right? You got to get those investors in on the ground floor. Be like, this concept art looks amazing. Here's $100,000. Go make a cool VR game. All right. That was the last news story.
That was the last news story. So,
Oh, here's a news story, a personal news story that I'm quite upset about.
Oh.
I had ordered a pizza about 25 minutes ago while I was on my call, and I was going to be excited to eat it on stream at the end here. It said, your order wasn't placed. Something went wrong, and now I have to start all over again. Real sad. Anyways, continue.
So there's like a foot of snow on the ground here, and I'm wondering if my pizza place is even delivering. I'm like, oh man, I can't imagine anybody at that place went into work today. It's crazy.
How long has it been like that? Like, you guys been getting a bunch of snow for the past couple of weeks, or is this just like now?
No, it snowed for like the last 12 hours.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it doesn't look.
I don't know what that's
really
like,
bad.
actually.
Oh really? Yeah. No, it's there was no snow on the ground yesterday. Now there's a foot of snow on the ground. So that's New England for you.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We said today was going to be a little bit of a shorter show, but we have the Game Awards, the PSVR 2020 PSVR Awards show Sunday. And after the show, we're going to be doing a little broadcast as well, and then
a little post-show wrap.
So, yeah, little post-show wrap up.
Tuxedos and stuff. No, that's not going to happen.
Oh wow, I need to rent one.
Nope.
Sorry.
Nope.
I'm down for GamesCast Christmas Eve. We'll see what these two guys are up to. If not, I'm sure we'll be kicking off with a bunch of streams. So a week away from Christmas. It's going to be exciting, man. And yeah.
All right. Excellent. Well, this was kind of a crazy episode. Who is rocking a better shirt, AJ or Bryan? Mine is a hoodie, so it automatically wins.
I don't think so.
Hey, wait. No love for Purple Rain in the chat? Jeez. You guys
dope.
have no
Purple
culture.
Rain's pretty
No
dope.
culture.
This is Castlevania, though.
This is-
I don't know.
I mean, Prince
I mean,
on a
this is
motorcycle
all
in
of
the
PlayStation.
He's got-
You're talking
he's
about
got
one game?
PlayStation.
Come on now.
I mean, he's got PlayStation, and Castlevania 2 is kind of the weakest of
I can make him dance. Look.
is one of the more weaker ones of the Castlevania series. That being said, I freaking love this shirt to death.
It's a classic quote for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is a man?
A little bit later.
Don't even try it, Brian. Don't even try it, Brian.
All right, you guys. Well, yeah, as AJ said, we knew this was going to be a shorter episode. I've got a lot going on behind the scenes here. I've got a lot of Swords Gargantua to play. I mean, we've got a lot of editing to do on the award show, a lot of pizza to eat. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys will all be there Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We did it. We intentionally scheduled it early in the day. We know that people, in Europe and in the UK have, probably work on Monday, and so we wanted to make sure it was earlier in the day to make sure that everybody could join in and be part of the fun. And hopefully it will be fun. I got a lot of work on my hands, but
I think it will be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, Dave hasn't really been in the loop on this kind of stuff, so Dave's going to actually get to watch most of this and be surprised by things, which is nice.
Yeah, they never keep me in the loop.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's more fun that way.
No, somebody should leave me out of the loop. It would be awesome. I get to sit there and watch and go, "This is great."
Just send me what you got for the awards show, and I'll put the rest of it together, and I'll surprise you.
Perfect. All right, you guys. Thank you, everybody out there, for hanging out with us during this shorter episode. Hopefully, everybody's staying warm and staying happy and healthy and safe. Those are all the words I wanted to use. Make sure you join us over on Discord. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. And that's it. Also, make sure you subscribe to Dave at DaveStation VR. Subscribe to AJ at PSVR Underground. And follow him on Twitter, please, so we don't have to really talk about it.
Go play Dreamboarders.
Go play Dreamboarders. a very Dreamboarders Christmas or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Can we cue the cat?
Yeah,
Cue
let's
that
do the
cat.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you guys
we love you
so
all.
much, man. So excited for Sunday. We will see you there. Don't be late.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Steve IRE, David Moore Modern, Johnny No Pockets, aka the Who That Game Cat, Hack the Game Cat. Thank you so much, man. Guy Son Fistbump to you. Donatello the Scientist Game Cat. Toss me a Ninja Slice. Todd the Father Muckin Game Gat. Peace out to you, homie. James Moore, thank you so much. Your Long Shadows, don't ever leave me again. Andrew C, GG, lads. Red Rover, the effing Game Cat. Decepticon, yeah. Andrew, I already said Andrew C. Braxton B, we got Andrew C and Braxton B. They, we need a cool nickname for them. Stay warm, 420, the Game Cat. Meow. Snack Minneapolis or Snack Impulse.
Impulse.
Oh, Snack Impulse. I like that.
Yeah, he does too.
Great Tantrum JB in the house tonight. What up, my homie? Steve IRE, once again. I think I already gave him a shout out. I'll give him another one. Elvert, the speedrunning master. Hunter, the FNAF fan. Hello. Thank you for joining tonight. Matt Owens, thank you. Boy Brown, thanks for joining in the discussion. He says, we need Dino Crisis VR. I agree.
Yeah.
Sin Studio, thank you for
Space.
joining in tonight. Keep up the great work with Swordsman. Love the game. Trent Stanley, love you too, bro. Boyd Citizen, thank you so much, my dude.
Team Racing.
Nihilist Ryan, the game feline, you traitor. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, man. Oh man.
Motor Storm.
Perfected insanity.
Resistance.
Destruction.
And Technoglitch
Killzone.
666, you can fuck off.
Vigilante 8.
And anybody else want to contribute to the list of games that need VR support? It's so
Brian
long.
Piccolo, thank you so much, man.
Oh, that's it. I got nothing.
That's it.
Let's end the show.
We only need
Hey.
we only need 7 more games for VR support. That sounds perfect. All right, you guys. Have a good night. We love you.